DevFest, Accra, September in the air. AI for good, a vision we all share. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Laptops open, sparks begin to fly. Innovation soaring, reaching for the sky. Workshops buzzing, minds are catching fire. In a cross pulse, we never tire. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. From morning light to starlit glow, creating new paths, shaping the flow. Lines of code are like threads in the loom, bringing new worlds out of the gloom. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Accra calling, can you hear the beat? Devs and designers, it's time to meet. DevFest, Accra, September in the air. AI for good, a vision we all share. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Laptops open, sparks begin to fly. Innovation soaring, reaching for the sky. Workshops buzzing, minds are catching fire. In a cross pulse, we never tire. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. From morning light to starlit glow, creating new paths, shaping the flow. Lines of code are like threads in the loom, bringing new worlds out of the gloom. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. time to meet. DevFest, Accra, September in the air. AI for good, a vision we all share. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Laptops open, sparks begin to fly. Innovation soaring, reaching for the sky. Workshops buzzing, minds are catching fire. In a cross pulse, we never deter. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. From morning light to starlit glow, creating new paths, shaping the flow. Lines of code are like threads in the loom, bringing new worlds out of the gloom. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Accra calling, can you hear the beat? Devs and designers, it's time to meet. DevFest, Accra, September in the air. AI for good, a vision we all share. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Laptops open, sparks begin September in the air. AI for good, a vision we all share. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Laptops open, sparks begin to fly. Innovation soaring, reaching for the sky. Workshops buzzing, minds are catching fire. In a cross pulse, we never deter. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. From morning light to starlit glow, creating new paths, shaping the flow. Lines of code are like threads in the loom, bringing new worlds out of the gloom. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Accra calling, can you hear the beat? Devs and designers, it's time to meet. DevFest Accra, September in the air. AI for good, a vision we all share. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. Laptops open, sparks begin to fly. Innovation soaring, reaching for the sky. Workshops buzzing, minds are catching fire. In a cross pulse, we never deter. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright. From morning light to starlit glow, creating new paths, shaping the flow. Lines of code are like threads in the loom, bringing new worlds out of the gloom. We the code weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright.
Then 9, 8. In Ghana, they can't say Memamu Akwaba. In Ever, Miawezolo. And in Ga, majority who stay in Accra, we say Mihero Bu Atu. And by all things, we mean welcome. And so put your hands together for yourself if you are here as we welcome you to DevFest Accra 2024. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us in the world. Well, it's evening here in Ghana. My name is Akweli Abna Okai, and tonight I'm here to moderate the DevFest Accra 2024. It's exactly 6 p.m. GMT here in Accra, Ghana. And right here in the Google Developer Groups Accra, it is time for us to talk about responsible AI. Now, before we get started, let's get busy on Twitter or X and use the hashtag DevFest Accra, hashtag GDG Accra, and let's talk about the event. We have a swap for the highest tweet on X, so do well to tweet. Let's take a screenshot, make noise about this event on X, and follow GDG Accra on LinkedIn, on X, on YouTube, and of course, right here on YouTube. And let's tell the world that DevFest Accra is live, okay? Let's do that right now. So while that is going on, kindly put in the YouTube comments live. Let's see where exactly you are in Ghana, Accra, or in wherever you are in the world. Let's see it in the chat. I'm reading the chat. Okay, so happy to see Ghanaians with the same interest together. Awesome. I'm reading the chat. Put in the chat where you are joining us from. If you are here in Ghana, where exactly in Ghana? If you are in Accra, just let's make some noise about where we are joining from. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And also do well to follow us on our socials as well. GDG Accra on Instagram, on X, on LinkedIn, and of course on YouTube. Okay, I'm reading the chats. Where are you joining us from? Let's show the world that DevFest Accra is here and we are almost getting started. In fact, we've already gotten started. Okay, not Legon is in the house. Thank you, Benes. Not Legon is in the house. Where are you joining us from? From Accra, Ghana. Caleb is from Accra, Ghana. Yay, Accra is in the building. I'm looking at the chat. Where are you joining us from? Let's see. Okay. All right. So today we bring together seasoned professionals here in the Ghanaian tech ecosystem to learn, network, and celebrate the power of community. We have a lineup of activities that will leave you thinking about responsible AI and how you can apply it in your homes, in your schools, in your workplace, and everywhere. And most importantly, we are here tonight to set the tone for the main DevFest event happening live this Saturday, the 14th of September at the Accra Technical University. And so, even beyond the sessions and the lineup and the activities and all that, tonight it's all about connecting with tech professionals, sharing ideas, sparkling new collaborations. Let's just get ready to immerse ourselves into DevFest Accra. And thank you all so much once again for being here. So to kickstart everything, I'm going to go ahead to deliver the keynote address on behalf of the GDG Accra community. So hello again, once again. My name is Akweli Abna Okai, and I'm the Partnership Associate at GDG Accra. I'm also a Women Techmakers Ambassador, and I'm here to deliver the keynote address. So let me share my screen for that. Yes. Okay. So Obed is joining us from Achimota. Thank you very much, Obed, for joining us today. If you are yet to put in where you're joining us from, you can go ahead and put it in, and then we'll acknowledge your presence here. Okay. Awesome. So my screen, amazing, amazing. Okay, you're right. So that is exactly what we are going to be talking about, responsible AI. Now, today we are going to talk about responsible AI, but to set the tone, DevFest is celebrated all over the world and primarily organized by the Google for developers or the Google developer community. And this technology conference offers us the opportunity to stay in tune with the exciting trends in Google's technologies. And we have workshops, we have panel sessions, we have other speeches from tech industry policy actors and players. And here in Ghana, in the Google developer group, Accra community, we also learn more about what the community is doing during this event. Now, what to expect for today? Fun fact, this is the 5th DevFest Accra led by our own community lead, Shadrach Inusa, who has made this event even bigger and more inclusive with initiatives like this, where you can see me. So we have the virtual events that started last year, and we are continuing this year. So it's one of the initiatives that he has brought to pass. And so now the first is 2 days. We have the virtual event, which is 2 days, and then we have the in-person event happening at the Accra Technical University on Saturday, the 14th of September. Now, this initiative is important because we get numerous number of speaker applications, and we want as many people as possible to be a part of the Google Developer Accra community. And so this virtual event offers that platform for even more speakers to speak to you about what they are building and what they are doing and how you can also benefit in your own career journey. In addition to this initiative, we've also had the Women Tech Makers breakfast session that happened last year and is continuing again this year. So last year we had some Googlers and some top career professionals, women of course, who came to tell us about what they are doing and also share numerous opportunities for women in the tech space. And so this year as well, we have Manuela Asiano, the IT project manager at MTN Ghana, who come and share an insightful talk for us. So the ladies listening, make sure that you join us this Saturday at exactly 8 a.m. From 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., we have the breakfast session, and that sets the tone for the main session. And we have some swags for the first 20 ladies who join. So ladies, don't waste time. On Saturday, I want to see you all at 8 a.m. at Accra Technical University for the WTM breakfast session. Now, so before you dive into today's exciting sessions, I want to take a moment to talk about something that is happening that is increasingly becoming crucial in our world. That is responsible AI, which is the theme for this year's DevFest Accra. Now, artificial intelligence is transforming industries and reshaping the way we live and the way we work. But with this incredible power comes a profound responsibility to ensure that AI is ethical, is fair, and is beneficial for everyone. That is where responsible AI comes in. It's about developing and deploying AI in a way that aligns with our values, that respects our privacy, and promotes fairness and minimizes bias. Now, speaking of leaders in this space, Google is at the forefront of the responsible AI movement. Google is not only pushing the boundaries of AI innovation, but also ensuring that these advancements are grounded in strong ethical principles. At the heart of Google's approach is the belief that AI should work for everyone. They are collaborating with global communities like the Google Developer Accra community, researchers, and policymakers to ensure AI development benefits society as a whole without reinforcing inequalities or biases. And so, as we dive into the incredible technologies and innovations today, let's keep in mind the importance of developing AI that not only advances our capabilities, but does so in a way that is ethical, inclusive, and responsible. That is the future of AI we look forward to. So this evening, get ready for a power-packed lineup for DevFest Accra. We have the brilliant Mohammed Samu or Awal, who will show us how to harness native capabilities to supercharge our web apps like never before. Then the incredible Sarah Kadon Ajekwe will reveal the secrets to creating seamless digital experiences with top-tier UI, UX, and marketing tips. After that, Papa Kofi Boahen takes the stage to demystify automating app deployment and team notifications. And so that's a massive for anyone who wants to streamline your workflow. Next, the inspiring Hannah Lomenyo will share her journey of navigating the tech world as a woman, breaking boundaries and redefining what's possible. And just when you think it can't get any better, Martha Clenham Chagli comes in, igniting our spirits with stories of resilience, passion, and perseverance in the tech space. So get ready to feel inspired. And to cap it all off, the fantastic Idi Dashina Baba Idrisu will cut through the noise and explore the raw state of DevOps in Ghana, moving beyond the hype to practical insights that matter. We'll also have some demo from our community. And at this point, I want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors and partners of GDG Accra DevFest event for making this event possible. So let's give them a round of applause in the comment section. We have the Accra Technical University sponsoring the events, Google for Developers, InfoBip, ICP Ghana, Gamers Hype, Kaori, Amalitech, Ejuma, Kofa, Mest Africa. And we have partners like Spinix and Cut Loft, National Information Technology Agency, that's NITA Ghana, Credo, Tech Connect Africa, Accra Digital Digest, Deduce Photography, and Icon Photography. Thank you all very much for making this event possible. And if you want to join the community, if you're looking to join the community, there is a link or a QR code just here. So just take a screenshot or scan the link, and then you see and join the community. So join our community platform today. Okay, thank you all so much for paying attention. It's now time for us to watch the main keynotes from the Google for Developers community, after which we'll listen to the Google Developer Sub-Saharan African Community Lead, Mr. Sodiq Akinjobi. So watch the Google for Developers keynotes. Okay, so we are still working on the sound. So I'm going to the comment section. I'm going to the comment section to read where you are all joining from. Kwame Daku says from Medina. Franklin Hassi says from Ho. Interesting. It's awesome to know that Volta region is in the building. Westford Kwashi is joining from Achimota. Alvin from Oibi. Interesting. Martha Boatson is joining us from Oyarifa. Joshua is joining us from Mataheko. Rich from Ho Volta region. Abubakar Sadiq is from Nigeria. You're warmly welcome, Nigeria. We have Raphael from Kumasi. Enjoy Its Lyrics Hub from Tema. We have John Lolonyo, who is watching us from La Paz, Accra, Rich Kota. So let's keep making a buzz on social media. You can go on Twitter or X and post tweets about it. Yeah, go on LinkedIn. If you're watching us from LinkedIn, yes, please. Let's tell the world that GD Accra is here. So let's take the keynote now.
Hello, welcome to DevFest. This marks the 15th year of DevFest, and it's incredibly humbling to share this moment with all of you. DevFest is our community's annual celebration, the world's largest gathering for developers and tech leaders. Last year's event was truly remarkable, with over 650 conferences held in 500 cities across 115 countries. My name is Komal Sandhu, and I am the Global Program Lead for Google Developer Groups that happen to be the hosts of DevFest. There are over 1,000 GDGs across the globe, and each group is a hub of technical expertise where developers, future developers, and academics meet and intersect. These spaces break down barriers, foster collaboration, and inspire the kind of groundbreaking innovation and creativity that shapes our world. As Google, we collaborate with GDGs because, very simply, we want to build the best products that enable developers to build solutions and experiences that make the world better. If we want to build better products, then being deeply connected to our users is critical, and DevFest and GDGs help create that opportunity for us to not only share what we are working on, but also learn from your experiences and feedback. I had one of our organizers recently say to me, people come to DevFest because they are either trying to better themselves or better their organizations. And so I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for being here and committing your time to learn and grow. This year is unlike any other. My brother, a seasoned software engineer, recently shared his perspective. He called this year the golden age for devs, where daily accomplishments surpass what used to take months. Yet, amidst this progress, there is a sense of unease. What does the future hold with AI? At Google, we're dedicated to unlocking your potential as problem solvers. Gemini, Google's AI, seamlessly integrates into your apps regardless of your preferred language or platform. AI is for everyone. It's time to think bigger than ever before. You can utilize Gemini to amplify your impact as a developer. With AI, we have the power to tackle some of the world's most pressing societal issues. Imagine using AI to optimize the distribution of food, water, and medicine to those in need, or creating adaptive learning platforms that personalize education at scale. From predicting natural disasters to accelerating drug discovery, the potential impact of your AI-powered solutions is immense. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility. We need to develop AI tools safely and responsibly. That's why we're committed to guiding the tech ecosystem and helping you use AI in ways that are secure, ethical, and beneficial to all. You're not alone in this journey. We're here to support you every step of the way. Let's embrace AI's potential and build a brighter future together. Now we'll hear from Sean Rao, our AI security and privacy lead, to discuss the Secure AI Framework, SAFE, one of our most critical initiatives this year.
Thanks, Komal. Hi, I'm Sean Rao. I lead AI security and privacy efforts at Google. I work with engineers who build and secure Google's AI models, infrastructure, and products. I'm excited to speak with you today. Google has been working on AI for a very long time. And we've been keeping our AI safe and responsible for a long time as well. Our AI journey started with ML for spell check in 2001. Then a few years later came ML for Google Translate, TensorFlow for developers in 2015, and transformer models in 2017, all culminating in our Gemini models late last year. Now, along the way, we've always used the latest advancements in AI for security. Gmail spam filtering, for example, Drive malware protection, reCAPTCHA, detection response systems in our cloud, and many more. Today, we stand at a technological inflection point. Gen AI is exciting. It's enabling amazing new product experiences. And it's not just a technology or a product feature either. Gen AI is now becoming a developer platform, enabling developers to take advantage of the latest innovations in Gemini, for example, and build on top of it. At Google, we're meeting this transformative era with boldness and with responsibility. Our approach to responsible AI includes focus on security, privacy, and safety. Let's talk about security in particular. Like any new technology, while AI brings incredible potential, it also brings risks from bad actors looking to take advantage of it. So in 2023, we introduced the Secure AI Framework, a conceptual framework for securing AI systems. SAFE is designed by the security best practices that we built within Google through many years of work on AI and cybersecurity. We designed SAFE to help mitigate risk particular to AI systems, like stealing the model, data poisoning of the training data, and injecting malicious inputs through prompt injection. With SAFE, we're thinking across all of the layers of the AI stack: the data, the model, the infrastructure, and the application. We're working really hard to further secure AI for billions of users. Additionally, we're also sharing our insights with developers and practitioners to support a secure AI community for everyone. Now, we have a long history of developing industry frameworks to raise the security bar and reduce overall risk for our users. We've collaborated with others to launch the SALSA supply chain security framework, for example. And we had pioneering work on Beyond Corp that led to industry's zero trust security principles. Earlier this year, alongside our industry peers, we introduced the Coalition for Secure AI. We pulled this coalition together over the past year to support a collective industry investment in AI security and to advance responsible AI practices. We are looking forward to working with our industry peers over the coming months to help everyone in the world use AI that is built to be secure and responsible. AI's transformative effect on our products and its profound impact on our security and safety make 2024 an important year for AI developers. Keeping everyone safe at scale and helping our users, customers, and societal stakeholders stay secure is more complex, urgent, and important than ever before. We believe that Google's responsible AI approaches and the Secure AI framework will help us be bold and responsible as we build the future together. Enjoy DevFest today. Keep supporting each other, keep collaborating, and finding ways to apply the knowledge gained today to benefit your community.
Thank you, Sean. Together, we have the potential to unlock incredible possibilities in a safe and responsible way. The future is going to look a lot like who builds it today. Welcome to DevFest.
Okay, so without further ado, we'll listen to the Google Developer Sub-Saharan Africa Community Lead, Mr. Sodiq Akinjobi, give his keynote address. Hi, Sodiq. Can you hear me?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Finally.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm trying to pull up my slides so that, okay. So let's start from here. And I believe that the answer to this will determine whether this presentation will continue or not. So I'll be in the comments I'll be reading the comments to see what others are going to say. But I'm really excited to be here. Thank you to Shadrach and the rest of the team for all the amazing work that you're doing in Ghana. I'm tuning in live from Lagos, Nigeria today, the home of where some will say the best jollof. So today, I just really want to quickly talk about a few lessons that I have over the past 1 year that I've learned from the last time I was in Accra to now, and how you can apply those lessons to the current stage of life that you're in right now. So whether you've been doing this for quite a number of years or you're just really getting started, I'll be sharing those strategies. And of course, it comes from, eating the best jollof in the world. So I'll just jump right into it. So I decided to turn my topic, embarking on a journey of self-discovery. And, as you're constantly learning about yourself, what are some of those key tips that you have that I can share and that you can apply no matter where you are in your life? My name is Sodiq Akinjobi. I currently work on the developer ecosystem team here at Google, helping to support our communities in Africa. So I have a quick trivia question for us before we start. Please don't use Gemini, because I know some of you might be rushing to Gemini to ask now. But what is the highest point in Ghana? Of course, I think they are free. We'll get a clap if you get the answer correctly. I believe the studio have some claps ready for whoever gets it. So let's see. Anybody? I see an answer from Nifini. Okay, I see another person. So keep it coming. We'll come back to whoever gets it correctly later on. So the first tip that really comes to mind for me is really, and this has been said quite a number of times. You might have heard it before, but it's really starts with what you have. No matter the points that you are in your life, in your career, it's really important to start with whatever you have. So, I've been in rooms where I've spoken to people and they are mentioning that, okay, I don't have a PC at the moment, or okay, I only have a mobile phone, or my laptop is 4 gig RAM. But really, start with what you have, or start with, what you have at the moment. The second tip that is really important, especially in the changing world that we are in now, is to start with where you are. Some of you are in the country. Some of you, you are students in school. Some of you are probably interning somewhere. So wherever you are at this point in your career, really start from that point that you are in. The third one, and this is really important, is comparison is the thief of joy. The reason why I started with the question of who has the better jollof is, everyone is always comparing relative to something. But what you should instead be aiming for is to make the better jollof than you made yesterday. Let me cover some people, but some of you let me respite. You burn your jollof. So you're cooking jollof and then it burns today. But the next day, you try to make it better and get the perfect recipe. So really, instead of comparing yourself to others, just try and be a better person than you were yesterday. The next tip, I don't think I'll say this with my mouth, but I'll just let you read and understand by yourself. I think this one explains itself really, and is really important. The next one is something that I was talking about. I've been seeing what's it called? I've been seeing some tweets on Twitter around how, you can be consistent doing rubbish, or you can be consistent not, just being lazy around. That's also consistency. If you're constantly lazy every day, that's consistency in its own right. So I always tell people that while consistency is good, consistency in hard work and showing up is always better, and is really, really super important. So definitely, take this as your cue to start, being consistent. The next tip, and is really important, is go with your friends. It's always sweeter. So I hear people, as you're trying to work, you're trying to grow in your career, whether you're a student, whether you're career professionals, it's always easier for you to grow along with your friends, because you can now be pulling each other up and catching each other slack if there's any, and just encouraging each other and growing together. And I think almost at the end, is done is better than perfect. If you're like me, I'm always thinking, so how can I? So for example, when I was thinking about this slide, it's like, this thing's not perfect. Let me go and do something else. Splash pictures everywhere. But one very key important thing is, done is better than perfect. Really, just get it done. If your final, I have a saying that I hear a lot. I think Awal also has said it. If your version 1 is your final version, then you're probably doing something wrong. So it's very important for you to, because when you have an app, for example, and you beat your version 1 of your app, then you have the opportunity to do version 2. You have the opportunity to do what? Version 3. And that's why you constantly improve on it. But if your version 1 is perfect, then what are you improving on? The next one, really important, is do more, talk less. I see everybody's just trying to talk, but nobody's actually doing the hard work that it takes. So, so it's really important for you to do more, really, and talk less. And I say this a lot: execution always beats talk every time. Somebody who executes, you always find out that because you're always executing and always building. So if there's one thing that you want to take away from here today, just continue to build and execute. And almost at the end is share your story. So one thing I've been in a room, for example. So I was speaking to the last time I was in Ghana. I was speaking to someone in the room at the event that we were putting together, and the person was like, I didn't want to write about my experience here because everybody in the room will write about it, or I didn't want. And she was like, okay, I didn't want someone to, I'm just getting started with Python. I don't want to be talking about it because there's nothing to talk about. But you find out that while you are just getting started, there are billions of people in the world who have not started, and they start, and once they start, people can learn from your own personal story. And I get encouraged from there's the world best footballer. There are plenty YouTube channels everywhere right there that a lot of YouTube channels, right? And if you had thought that there's no need for me to create a YouTube channel, then would have said, okay, there was actually no need. But he started a YouTube channel just a few weeks ago, or maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now already has 60 million followers. And if you had decided that there's already plenty YouTube channel, there's nothing for me to post. But now he has 60 million people following him. And that's how you start from one tiny little place, and then it continues to grow from there. So whether you're just getting started or you've started for a bit, please always share your story. There's somebody inspired. You're always positioning yourself for opportunities to grow. And before I go, I have one final teaser question for you. So I was researching on Ghanaian food that the last time I was there that I was eating. And one thing that stood out was there was a dish that was made with fish and meat, and they cooked it in a spicy tomato sauce. Is there anybody who can guess what this dish is? I'll be looking out for your answers in the comments as you send it in. And finally, if you watched the keynote earlier, we talked about as the world is changing and we are building with AI, it's very important to build responsibly and to look at, as you are building with AI, we've created a responsible generative AI toolkit that can give you the guidance to build, design, and evaluate AI models in a responsible way. And you can check it out at ai.google.dev/responsible. It's going to give you, the rules, how your model should behave, how you can create a safe and accountable application, how to make sure that your prompt techniques are, they're aligned with safety, how to evaluate your model, how to include safeguard, and really just putting developing and designing responsibly at the forefront of the work that you are doing in the AI space. So whether you're a researcher or you're a dev, you're really just interested, please go and check out the link ai.google.dev/responsible. I hope that you have an amazing time, and hopefully I can be able to pull a surprise and see you all on Saturday. Thank you so much. And please feel free to connect with me on social media at Geek Tutor.
Thank you very much, Sadiq. And by the way, Ghana Jollof is always the best. But taking your advice, comparison is the thief of joy. And so we are not going to compare ourselves. Thank you very much for such an inspiring keynote. Yes. Remember to always share your story, like Sadiq rightly told us. Okay, so the next speaker here is going to talk about leveraging native web app capabilities on your web app. And the person is Mohammed Samu, or Awal, as he's popularly called. So let's get Awal in the stream. Hi, Awal, can you hear me and see me? You're muted, please.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone.
Hello. You're warmly welcome. So, what are you going to talk to us about today?
Well, I'm trying to piece off some some mobile developers here today.
Okay.
I just hope it's not going to get so serious and they won't take what I'm saying too personal. And I just hope that like web developers on the call are going to probably use some of the things they are going to learn today as we go through to this session.
All right, over to you then.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Hello, and I'm not sure what to say. Is it like to say Akwaba or like am I to say welcome and a whole lot of things? My name is Awal MS, and it's always a pleasure to be speaking at DevFest Accra. I believe this is my 4th time, right? I'm wearing one of the Ghana t-shirts I got from the last event, specifically the what do you call it? The shirt that was worn by the Ghana national team during the last African Cup of Nations, right? It was one of the gifts I got from Accra. So this is like the 3rd time I'm speaking here on DevFest, and it's good to be having this conversation here. So today we're looking at some of the web tools, some of the capabilities that are available natively on web that people or developers can use to build like really awesome applications. And the reason why we're having this conversation is very simple. Africa is a mobile-first continent. A whole lot of people use web, like a whole lot of people use mobile phones to access the web, right? If you're a company or you're interested in building a product, or you're a freelance developer and you're having a conversation with somebody who is trying to build an application, one of the issues or one of the things they mention is, I want to build a web app, but then there are some features that I want to use that is not available on the web, right? And then sometimes it's the reason why some people end up building a mobile app instead. I am not saying you shouldn't build a mobile app, but I'm just saying that web developers should know that some of these functionalities, or almost all of these functionalities, will be available on web in the closest feature. So I'm going to be covering a couple of those that have already been implemented across the country, by different team members that form Project Fugus. So my name is Awal MS, and feel free to ask me questions on any of the social medias at Awal MS. I do a whole lot of things, and yeah, so let's get started. So basically, what are web capabilities, right? You'll be like, oh, what is that, right? Capabilities, web. So the whole concept is we trying to give web applications features that are traditionally available only for native apps, right? Things that initially only apps that are built for, let's say, for using Java or Kotlin or probably on Flutter or React Native and stuff like this. Basically, apps that are installed on applications where the initial they were the initial apps that would be able to like do these things, right? Nowadays, we're looking at having web applications, having access and utilize those features that are not just, say, API. Some of those things are supposed to be hardware. We're looking at things like this, right? Being able to access hardware stuff, it could probably be like trying to access the camera of the phone, or probably trying to use a microphone or GPS, right? And many things of that nature. Or maybe you're trying to build an app that needs to be able to access files on a system, or basically save files on a device, on a mobile device, or probably send a notification. Or maybe there are some things that you want to run in the background. So these things are some of those things. Other things that are added also, or capabilities that are of interest to a whole lot of people, is an app being able to work while it's offline, right? We are in Africa, right? One of the issues we have here is our connectivity is not so good, right? It may be good in Accra, but I'm not sure you can vouch for if you go to like a typical remote area in Ghana that you have like a stable internet connection. You could get to a place where there's actually no internet, but you want to probably load some apps Maybe you want to read some news, or maybe you want to be able to save some data that when you get close to the internet, or when you get connected to the internet, it gets to sync, right? So that of offline functionalities. Or you're building an app that needs your users to come back sometime after something has changed. Maybe a new mail got sent, and then you want to notify your users by push notification. Or maybe you build an app where people can send funds across each other, and then you want to notify party B that party A has sent something, come back to your profile to check it, right? So push notifications. So these were traditionally things that were only available on for native applications, right? And these days, almost everything on this screen is available on the web and can be accessed using the power of Service Worker, which is basically what is helping these functionalities work. If you don't know anything about service workers, I really implore you to go check out Progressive Web Apps, and you will see things about service worker and get more detailed explanation on offline functionality as well as push notification, as this is not the focus of the session today. So you're probably been like, okay, so I can get this feature and I can get this feature and the web can do this. So why should I care, right? We say data. So I have this friend that says, we believe in God, every other person will bring data. So if you bring in any argument, you have to bring me data to tell me why I should care about whatever you're saying. So let's look at this, these numbers, basically data to back up why you should care if you're a web developer. From what you're seeing here, this is an analysis from last month. It's not last year, it's not last 10 years, it's not last 100 years. We're talking about last month, August 2024, right? And the numbers we're seeing here is that like over 60% of website traffic comes from mobile devices, right? And I think the important thing here is the fourth item, if you will want to check, right? Africa has the highest proportion of internet traffic from mobile devices. Basically 69% of the people who are visiting the web, right, are on mobile. So if you're building a web application and you think I don't need to worry about my web users, you're probably mistaken. And it's the reason why we want you to think about this. And I think it is going to be very, very important that you make use of, even if it is just to probably look at these slides and then go back and do more research on that. I think it's going to be helpful. I believe having 4.32 billion people being active on mobile, using mobile internet it's not a joke. So if you're building something, especially for our African market, where a whole lot of people are visiting the web on the fly, 69% is not like, we could probably argue 70%, which is like a very, very high ratio of people who are using this, right? And like I mentioned, this is the data from August 2024. You can get this data on Statista. You can get the data and you can probably play around with the data if you want to probably see what's the proportion in Ghana or what's the proportion in West Africa or wherever your target market is. So this is something you should think of, right? Your mobile users. And as we already know, mobile, the speed, all right, the speed of internet, like the speed of a site on a mobile is relatively different from what you have when you're visiting using a web, right? And using native tools, native APIs that come in depth into the products, into the browser is going to be very helpful for you. Yes, you could probably use some packages that will help you do this, right? But then knowing about the native APIs would be very, very helpful as we look at this. So let's say I am able to convince you that you should think about using building these functionalities on your web app. You're probably wondering, so how do I add them onto my product? For the sake of this presentation, I'm just going to be covering about 3 or 4 different APIs and tell you how it looks like, when you should use it, and what is the general support as it currently stands. So let's start with the first one here on my screen, the Web Share API, right? And what the Web Share basically does, it allows you to be able to share whether it's a link or some text from a site to a different application. It could be probably you want to send it via Bluetooth, it could be to send it as an email, right? I think we mostly have used this on mobile apps where you see the option to share, and then it can be able to like share it using whatever tool or whatever browser or whatever application you want it to share to, right? From what you're seeing here, it allows you to provide these things irrespective of what platform it is that the app was built. So you're probably using this on the browser, and then you're trying to share it with somebody on WhatsApp, right? So web share is one API that I think it's going to be very, very helpful for you as you build applications in the market. And the funny thing is that the endpoint, the API to use is very, very straightforward, right? As you can see on the code by the right side, the left shows you a demo of what the web share looks like. And on the right is a code that will trigger that. You remember I mentioned service worker is one of the core things that make this possible, right? When trying to access service worker, we use something called Navigator, basically to check if you have support for web share. All you need is just to do all you need to do is just to do an if statement to check if navigator.share exists. If it exists, it should be able to do this. If it doesn't exist, you could probably write some different code or probably different functionality to be able to do the other things you want to do. But the most important thing is that web share is a promise-based API, so it can tell you when it's complete, when it's successful, and when it fails. Just like as you can see on this screen here, right? When we check web share and it's available, the next thing is to probably try to send the message. You can send like the title of the message that you want to share, what text you want to be like a metadata, as well as the URL if it is like a URL you're trying to share, right? And then if it is successful, it comes back to successful share on your console. You could probably do whatever you want to do. In the then statement here, at this then node, you can do whatever, whether you want to probably trigger an, if it fails in the case of catch, whether you want to probably trigger an email send, or if it's successful, you want to probably add a count for yourself. Whatever the decision is, right? Just it's that straightforward. I think a couple of people will start asking, so how many devices can support this? Or like, when should I use it and how can I use it, right? So web share is one of the early APIs that have been released, right? It has relatively good support, especially for people who are using Chrome version, 128 upward, right? You can see, if you don't know where this is coming from, this is Can I Use. You can go to caniuse.com and type whatever API you want to try, and try to see its relative usage, like what browsers currently support. You can see from Chrome 89 down to 131 have some support, some level of support, but like great support comes from 128 upward. You can see on Edge, it goes back to 81 as well as 95. You can also see Safari also have support for that, from right down from Safari 12.1. Firefox still doesn't have support for it. Unfortunately, Opera, as well as the grandfather of a whole lot of browsers, doesn't also have support for that. Chrome on the mobile, people using Chrome on Android have support from 128 version 128. Safari also has support from version 12. So there's relatively some level of support when you're trying to use this web share API. So that is for web share. You remember the code is very, very simple, very straightforward. Just check if it exists and implement, and then do what you want to do. If it doesn't exist, you could probably move on to your backup plan, right? So that's web share. And then the next one is file system. A whole lot of times you're building an app that wants to save data on a mobile device, or it wants to read data from a mobile device. One of those APIs that help you do this is the File System Access API. It basically has support from both Chrome and Edge version 86 upward, but then unfortunately there's no support for Firefox yet, as well as the Apple Safari device, browser. But it also basically helps you, like I mentioned, it enables you to read files, write files, as well as save files on, or even access like the directory structure of a mobile application, of a mobile device, right? Its support, like I mentioned, is currently restricted to Chrome, Edge, as well as Opera. Safari and Firefox have not started supporting this. So if you're going to implement this, it's also going to be possible to think of backup plans, other unofficial APIs, as well as, let's say, some pull refills that will help you have this support. So the next one that is like sort of important, right, is the contact picker API. Maybe you're building an app that you want to read the contact of your user, right? The user who is visiting that platform, you want to use read the contact for something very useful. Maybe your app depends on the contact. Maybe you're trying to send a message, or maybe you even just want to do a backup. Maybe you're building an app that does a backup of all the contacts in the user's contact list, right? So contact picker will be helpful for you. There are currently many ways of doing it. There's like different API, like JavaScript packages that help you do this. But for the contact picker API natively, all the support are currently behind flag, right? Which means you have to specifically enable them, because like a whole lot of things have to come into place. It's a security issue and the rest. And I think one of the important things to mention is that every one of these features that we're talking about today, every one of the APIs we're talking about, only works when you're in localhost or you're using HTTPS, right? If you're not using the secured HTTP, it will not reflect, right? You cannot be able to use any of those APIs. And the code for that is quite straightforward, right? Users need to probably have a button that that will trigger the check-in, or to probably like will trigger the API, and the main code for checking if the contact is supported is just the first two lines. It's supposed to be one line, but I was finding it hard to have like this explanation as well as these two codes in the same page. So that's why you have it splitted into like two lines. It's basically you just creating a variable to check if it's supported, and you check for what do you call it, contacts or contact manager. Contacts can be found in Navigator, while contact manager can be found in the global window. So if you check for this and see that it's supported, you can be able to do select contact, but you can just call this, right? And basically check and trigger that what do you call it, the fetch. So it's quite straightforward. It's not as complex as you will probably assume, because it's a native API. And for now, the support is restricted to, since it's a contact stuff we're talking about, I wouldn't expect anyone to say, hey, there's no support for Chrome, Edge, Safari, Firefox, Opera, and Internet Explorer. And the reason is because this is supposed to be targeted at mobile applications, right? But that's why you can see there's support for Chrome for Android. There's some relative support on Samsung Internet. Opera Mini from version 80 has that support, as well as the native Android browser, right? Will have this support. Hopefully we will get to have Firefox on Android being able to support this. For now, the three main browsers that support this is the Chrome for Android, the Opera mobile, as well as the Android browser. Then we have Samsung on the road, because like it has some relative support but not fully supported. Like I mentioned, this is an experimental feature. It is not advised to use this in production yet. And one of the reasons is because the user may not enable the flag, right? You don't have a way for you to forcefully implement, to enable the flag. It is something that the user has to enable themselves. So use with care. So those are some of those APIs, right? I didn't want to go deep into this, but I have linked here an article for you to be able to read some of those APIs that are available. And this is not restricted to the three that I mentioned. You remember I talked about the Bluetooth, Web Bluetooth API. You can also be able to access the USB of a device. You can be able to access the battery percentage, the memory percentage of a device. But yeah, there are a whole lot of things for you to check out. Just to ensure that I still remain in time. You can check out this. If you have any question, I'm going to be on the chat section to answer any question you probably have.
Okay, so kindly put your questions in the comment section, and Awa will be here for the next 5 minutes to pick your questions and answer. So let's go to the comment section. Okay. Okay, so my team member will share the link on your screen now in the comment section. Someone is asking, can you share the link? That will be shared.
So I'm seeing a couple of questions on the chat section. Somebody asking, I think I saw a question that I just passed through. Can you share the link? Okay, link is here. Shedrack and the team will also be able to share the slides. Wonder Tech Universe, you will get the slide after this session. I'll share this with the GDG Accra team, and then the team will be able to share with you. Okay. So if there is no question for me, I think over to you, host.
All right. That was a very insightful session by Awal. Thank you very much. Moving on, we have Kadon Sarah Ajikwi, who is going to talk on the topic seamless digital experiences, UI, UX marketing, and no-code magic. So Kadon is here with me. Kadon is going to join right up.
Hello. Thank you very much,
Hi,
Akuni.
Kadon.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing? I'm so happy to be
All right,
here,
over to you.
honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just connecting slides and I'll continue the session.
Okay, then share with us what you're going to talk about.
So I'm going to be talking about seamless digital experience, and I'm going to be talking about the magic of UI, UX, marketing, and no-code tool.
Okay.
So let me share my slides now.
So what should we expect? Okay.
Be expecting a lot of images, a lot of design, a lot of insights regarding user experience, digital experience, and developer experience here with me. So that's what you're going to be experiencing from this presentation. Thank you very much.
I'm already excited for that.
All right.
Okay.
Let me get my slides up immediately and I'll start.
Awesome. All right.
Give me a few seconds. Let me get it up.
Okay, so while Sarah or Kadon is setting up her screen, the link that you requested for has been shared. So Bernard Ej Esid, I hope you have the link now. Awesome. All right, so you're still waiting for the slides to pop up.
Yeah. So the slides.
Someone is asking, does GDG Accra have a Discord server? We don't have a Discord community for now. I don't think we have that. So yes, the overlord. I hope your question has been answered.
Awesome. My slides are here. Can everybody see my slides?
Yes, and go for it.
Yeah, awesome. So, good evening, everyone in Accra. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Ajikwe Sarah Kadon, and I'm here to present to you about seamless digital experience, UI UX marketing, and no code to magic. So I'm sure all of you will be wondering who is Cardon, and I'm here to introduce to you myself. I am the CPO for USAFE. Currently, we're rebranding to Shelter. Shelter is a mobile application for women's safety, teenagers, and families. By simply checking your phone, an emergency alert will be sent to your 5 emergency contacts that are living around you. I'm also a digital marketer and the product designer with a huge passion for creating seamless user experiences for users. Also, for the past few months, I've been experimenting and trying my hands on different no-code tools like Flutterflow, Framer, Webflow, WordPress, amongst others, because we're in a new age where things are much more easier. And like my previous um, um, mentor, Bright, he always said there's no glory in suffering. So that is why I've taken up the chance to be able to learn no code tools and implement them. And I've also recently graduated from MEST. I finished last month. I love researching, movies, and traveling. I really appreciate it if all of you should follow me on my socials, my Instagram, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn to share more updates on the journey of learning no-code tools and implementing it for good. Um, did you know that 70% of online businesses fail due to the fact that the digital experiences does not resonate with the users? Think about that for a second. That's like 7 out of 10 businesses fail, on a daily basis because they just don't resonate or users cannot feel the empathy that the entrepreneurs or the product designers or the developers are working towards on. Um, as entrepreneurs like myself, we're often full of creativity, we're often full of passion and eager to bring groundbreaking ideas to life. But the process of launching and the process of taking it to the market is a lot more stressful than you think it is. My experience at MEST has taught me a lot, and these are challenges that a lot of people go through. But by making sure that your digital experiences is much more easier and simplified for users is one of the best thing you could do. Uh, thank you very much for your patience. I'm so excited because this is my first time. I'm super, super excited. Like I was saying, creating a product and taking it to the right audience without burning an entire budget is something that everybody should learn and know how to go about in this new age and in this new time. There's so many obstacles in the way. My experience as a chief product officer at Yusuf, currently Shelter, has taught me about three key things or three factors for building a scalable MVP. And one of them is budget, time, and experience. For example, if you have over $200 million, you could have a team, you could design the application, you could hire a bunch of developers to, bring this idea to life. Or if you have maybe, let's say, about 200,000 cities, I mean, that's a budget that you're going to be really strained on, and you need an entire team and money that these days, this economy is not as easy as it should. So it's good to learn or leverage no-code tools that have AI embedded to make it much more faster and much more easier. Regarding time, also it saves you a lot of process of learning from the beginning. It's much easier, like I said. And then even if you're just learning and you're just already an experienced developer, AI tools will help you to take you to the next level. And it's also so seamless. And I have a fantastic idea to share with you today regarding merging UI, UX, marketing, and no-code tool to create seamless, user experience for your users. And I'm going to introduce you to the trio: Flutterflow, Figma, and HubSpot. For Flutterflow, you're going to be able to create mobile apps and embed functionalities without necessarily writing a line of code. For Figma, which all of us already know, we're going to use Figma to design seamless mobile apps or websites. And then for HubSpot, we're going to be using HubSpot for marketing and for targeted marketing, like I said, sending emails, content creation, and a whole lot of other things. Now, when we speak about understanding seamless digital experiences, it's more like the process of a user interacting with a product or service, which is effortless, which is seamless and intuitive in the same way. So now the key element of a seamless user experience. First of all, is intuitive design. Intuitive design is more like a journey where a user interacts with the product or a service in a natural and effortless way that is also intuitive as well. Smooth functionality. Smooth functionality is beyond what a user interacts with. Mostly it's just the entire performance of the mobile app or the website. Like there's a joke that I and my developer friends, we normally say the KISS principle. The KISS principle is majorly keep it stupid simple, in the sense that once any user comes in place or looks at your product, the first thing you should do is know how to navigate through. So that's the principle. It's called KISS principle. Keep it like when this age and time where bombarding users with a lot of words, with a lot of data is too much. People already have social media to do that. So when they come on your platform, you just want to go straight to the point and finish what they came to your product or application to do. And then finally, effective user management. This is majorly a seamless experience where you're connecting the user with whatever you're doing with your product. Like for example, sending emails is good ethic to send emails and then end it with a person. Like both does that. It said Ayo from both or Temilayo from both. This is messages that are targeted to users, and then it's like, hey Sarah, hey Cardon, hey Aqueli. So in every email, it needs to be it needs to feel like I'm speaking to you in as much as I'm speaking to the entire customers, like that. So that's more like effective user engagement, keeping them engaged in your product, keeping them engaged in whatever you're trying to share to them as well. The importance of seamless user experience cannot be overstated. Take, for example, companies like Apple and Amazon. For example, the new Apple, Apple iPhone 16. A lot of us have been saying that the latest version is similar to the previous version, but that's one thing with Apple, that always gonna reuse and make it connected to the previous versions that have been released. So that's something of, okay, users can see and relate to, but that's another way of selling your product as well. And then for Amazon, simplifying the buying process by just a single step is effortless, is amazing. So on the flip side, poor user experience can lead to user frustration, loss of trust, and ultimately loss of business. According to a study by Google, it says 53% of users will abandon a mobile site if it takes longer than 3 seconds to load. And honestly, I can relate with this study because most websites or most mobile applications, if you download it or if you go to the site, if you try to navigate through and it doesn't load or it doesn't give you what you need, most of us would tend to just, leave and then go do something else. And I believe that's facts, honestly. I'm going to dive right into the demo. I'll also share my screen to present the demo. Give me a second. Let me share my screen again. Yeah. Please, can you guys see my screen? Please comment if you can see my screen. Comment if you're following. Comment if you're enjoying the session. And also, I need people to also be engaged here. Comment if you've used a no-code tool before. Comment your experience, and we'll discuss further. So this is a design that I did with my friend. This is a application called Sweep. It's a no contactless payment system, and immediately you go on the first pages. This is the splash screen. It goes to the next, and then it gives you a description of what you should do. Transact without touch. I mean, this is also marketing. When you're also marketing a product, it's good to include things that are very, interesting, things that are very relative. Like it says, transact without touch. That lets you guys know that there's an application built or designed for no contactless payment. And this is seamless design, taking you through on how to go about downloading the application, logging in, signing up. And I'm going to show a live demo regarding creating these screens using FlutterFlow. So the first step to do is to search flutterflow.io on Google. And once you do that, you're going to come to this website, and this will allow us to sign in or create a free account. And I'm going to just sign in. So it's going to take a while to load. After doing that, on the left-hand side, this is gonna help you navigate to the project. It's gonna help you navigate to the organization. If you have a team, you can collaborate with your team, have your team media access, your team library, team design library. For those of us who have design systems, you can also search design systems on Google, and then, decide to pick those assets and add to your library as well. And this is also your team API library, where you can store all your get APIs or your post APIs. And this is also the marketplace. This is where you get resources, the community. One advice I'll give to everyone using flutterflow.io community is, aside going in there to ask questions, you can also go in there to help people as well. So I'm going to create a new project, and there are other templates where you can pick from, but I'm going to create a blank project. I'm just going to show you 2 minutes on how to create a new screens with FlutterFlow. So just 2 minutes, and I'll go right back into my presentation. So after doing that, you can either skip this process and just go right into the next step, and then create your project. But first of all, I just want to start and show you just a short process. So once you come to Flutter Flow, since we're going to be creating a splash screen for the swipe designs that I just showed you earlier, you could. Is everybody seeing my screen? Yeah, awesome. So what we have to do is go to this. Yeah. So for all Flutter developers, this Flutter Flow is going to make it much more easier for you to increase your speed and also make things much more easier. So after doing that, you're gonna include sorry. Hold on a minute. So for Flutter developers, when starting your project, you're gonna have to create the column and then include an image. And on the right-hand side, it helps you navigate through to edit all your components and your designs as well. I just don't want to go in and take time to build all of that, but I'm going to show you what I've been working on recently. So I built these few screens on Flutter Flow. Like I said, I've been learning. I've been learning. I've been experimenting with no-code tools, and Flutter is really amazing. Flutter Flow is really amazing. I've been able to create these few screens, and honestly, it was truly an experience for me because as a Flutter developer, I've made little mistakes when learning my skills in Flutter, but Flutter Flow has been able to help me to just, create these screens, which made things much more easier, and I loved it. And after creating these screens, yeah, after creating these screens, you could also test them. So yeah, I'll just jump right back into my slides. Thank you. So I would have loved to take you through the entire process, but I'll just go right back into my slides. Thank you very much. Yeah. So the outcome of using no-code tool is majorly just to enable the design and Flutter to be strikingly similar. And then also using a no-code tool enables seamless integration of AI for developers to create identical UI and generate the code to be readable, clean, and reusable from Figma to Flutter. I'll give you guys some perks or a quote. And here it goes. In marketing, great UI or UX meets AI to create magic. And with no-code tools, the magic reaches everyone. These are the few steps I went to create a mobile app in Flutter Flow. After doing all of this, I'm sure you'll be able to, deploy to App Store or Play Store. And these are the few screens that I did, or these are the few screens that I created using Flutter Flow. Thank you very much. I would love to share more on the designs I have done and the process that I went through, because learning how to build websites or mobile apps using no code can be quite tricky. Sometimes you want to do things on your own, but AI is here to help, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my process and to share the opportunity that AI can be used for good. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being here as well. Thank you very much. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment or ask me here. Please, I'll need everyone to engage, comment if you've used the no-code tool, comment how is your process and how did it go. Oh, yeah, Joshua, there's a question. You said, as in when you design a form and you when you design a form and you prototype, you get the ability to fill out the form back. It's not a paid feature on Figma. Flutterflow is an application from Google where you can use to create mobile applications. Yeah, it's possible to convert Flutterflow to code as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Kadan, for that insightful session. I've seen some questions that I think you should take. So is there a feature to convert Figma design straight into UI with Flutterflow?
Yes, there is. But most of the times when you're using Flutterflow, you just have to, make sure the designs or the screens you've designed is strikingly similar to what you're gonna be designing on Flutterflow. So it's similar to like you designing, but then you using the developer instinct to design on Flutterflow without writing any code.
Yeah, I think I saw a feature where you could also instantly convert. If you make any changes in your Figma UI designs, you could
it changes.
instantly push it to production in the UI. Yeah. So, but then yes, let's move away from that question. Yes, I keep seeing people prototyping with functionality. Okay, so is there a paid feature in Figma?
Sorry, come again.
Is it a paid feature in Figma? So I don't think this question is very.
It's not really clear.
Okay, so the question is beginning here. I keep seeing people prototype with functionality. Is it a paid feature? I don't think that's a paid feature.
No,
probably
no.
referring to prototyping. Yeah.
Yeah, but also when you're trying to also deploy to App Store or Play Store, you need to be paid. Honestly, yeah. I saw one last question.
Thank you
As a
very
beginner,
much.
will it be wise to explore Flutterflow before? Would it be wise to explore Flutter before touching Flutterflow? That's a tricky question because I had to explore Flutter first before exploring Flutter Flow. Although Flutter Flow makes it much more easier for you to understand the various steps or instincts in arranging the elements for the mobile app. So
Okay.
it's a tricky question. If you want to start from the beginning or just use Flutter Flow, which is much more easier and simpler for you, it's your choice. Well, I started with Flutter itself first before moving into Flutter Flow.
All right. I believe your questions have all been answered. Thank you very much, Kadon.
Thank you
We are
very much.
moving on to the next session by Papa Kofi Boahen, and he'll be speaking on the topic automating app deployments to app stores and notifying team via Slack. So I can see Papa Kofi here. He will be popping up on our screens very shortly. And yeah, so hi, Papa Kofi.
Hello, Akele.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Doing good. You too.
I'm great. All right, so move ahead. What are you going to talk to us today about?
Yes, so I'm going to talk of automating deployment. So I think Sarah spoke about building apps with Flutter Flow. I think this is the
Yeah,
exact thing you need. So after building the app, what next? You have to place it on App Store so that the world can use your products or your work. So I'll talk about how to automate this process.
absolutely. Absolutely. Go for it then.
Okay, thank you. So let me share my slides. Okay. Okay, I believe my slides can be seen. So we'll start from the first one. Slideshow. Kindly confirm if my slides are displaying. Okay. Okay. So I'll proceed. So automating app deployments to app stores and notifying team via Slack. So just as Sarah said, you can use Flutter or any other technology you want to develop your app. However, I'm going to speak about how you can automate this process to app stores. And then if you are working with a team, you can automatically also notify them when you make any updates to this app on app stores. So who is Papa Kofi? I'm Papa Kofi Boy. I'm an engineering student, a software engineer, and an ex-GDSE lead at Academic City University. So that's my GitHub handle down there, Storm Gear. You can also check out my accounts and check out some of the things I've been working on. So the agenda for tonight is introduction to app deployment, how Fastlane can help save time. So when it gets there, I'll talk about what Fastlane is, the Slack API and Slack apps, how you can use Slack to identify, notify your team members as well, and I walk through of how Fastlane works. Then, if there's time, we talk about questions and answers. Okay, next slide. So, save developer time and productivity by automating app deployments. So, in the app deployment stage of development, you have to go through a few steps or sometimes a lot of steps. But then with automation, you can save time and productivity. So you could just automate the process and use that time that you would have used to do the manual work to do something more productive, right? So some of the technologies that would be discussed here Fastlane, the Slack API, and the Ruby programming language. Yeah. So let's talk about app deployment in general. So generally, mobile app deployment is the process of you making your app available to users, right, through the app stores. So the popular ones are Google Play Store and then the Apple App Store. However, in reality, there are other places you can find apps like APK Pure and F-Droid. But the common ones that almost everyone uses is the iOS and the Google Play Store. So what are some of the requirements for Play Store if you want to deploy your app to Play Store? First of all, you need a developer account. And yes, I think the presentation before mine, a few people were asking about payments, right? So with a developer account, yes, you have to pay. I think currently the rate is at 25 USD for a lifetime. So it's good just once and then you are done with the payments. You can have access to your developer accounts anytime, anywhere. And you also need to build the app bundle so that I can deploy it. So the key steps are listed at my right hand side and probably your left hand side. So number one is development, sorry. Number two is testing. Number three is App Store submission. And number four, go to a review and approval process. Then finally, you publish it, right? Just like how people write, books and publish it. Software engineers or software developers also have to publish their apps for the world to see it and use it as well. Okay. You also need a Google Play Console, which is similar to having a developer account generally. So let's talk about iOS. So iOS as well, you also need to have, you also need to be on the developer program, the Apple developer program. And once again, you have to pay for this as well. So the rate is currently at 99 USD per year annually, which means you'd have to renew this every year to continue to have access to the stores. App Store Connect. So App Store Connect is also a web app that helps you to kind of go through that process of publishing your app. And then Xcode. So Xcode helps you to build iOS apps. There's a little twist to iOS developments. You probably need a MacBook. However, there could be alternatives. If you don't own a MacBook, you could also have a virtual machine, which will give you Mac OS. You could use tools like Code Magic. You could build your iOS application on Code Magic, which is essentially also kind of offers virtual machines as well. You also need certificates and profiles. So you need a physical iOS device to set up your certificates. It also has a similar step-by-step process, just as the Android process. So let's talk about Fastlane. Fastlane. So Fastlane is the automation tool that is used to automate processes or automate app deployments. Now, what can Fastlane do for you? It can help you to automate screenshots. So whenever I go to Play Store or App Store, you can see screenshots of the apps, right? You can automate it, so you don't have to do it manually. And then you have beta deployment. So before you launch your app to the world, you might want to test the app, right, to a few beta testers so that they can provide feedback and you can also improve on the app. So Fastlane helps with this as well. And then App Store deployment, just what you're going to talk about today. Okay. Now the Slack API, just like an add-on, because I felt that to enable, since you're automating the process of app deployment, why not also automate the process of communication as well? So immediately you kind of upload the app on Play Store or App Store, you can also write code that can immediately inform your team members about this change, which also improves team communication and productivity. So the Slack API actually allows developers to send messages and media files. So you can actually send messages and maybe APKs. So if the app is Android, APK. If it's an iOS app, that's the IPA. And what you use is called a Slack app. A Slack app is generally an application which Slack allows you to create on their platform. And you're able to add this to your channel. So if you're familiar with Slack, you know about Slack channels. So the Slack app can be easily added to any channel of your choice if you have like the right permissions to do so. And you can add Slack app to your channel for automated communication with team members. So let's go through the key steps, right? So number one, you have to create a Slack app first of all. Then you can add it to your workspace or the Slack channel. Number two is write appropriate lanes to automate tasks. So I'll talk about this more. Number three is use already existing fast lane actions. I also talk about that. They are all generally under the bracket of fast lane. Okay, so this is where it gets pretty exciting. We are going to walk through some code samples on how you can also use fast lane, right? I'm going to open my GitHub now. Let's see. I'm quitting screen sharing. I'm sharing my, yeah. Yes, I believe. Okay, let's give it a while. Okay, I believe it's showing now. So this is a repo I created purposefully for sharing my knowledge on Fastlane, and I'd like to talk about what Fastlane is and help you understand it better. Right. So Fastlane configuration to automate uploads to Play Store and notify team via Slack. I'll talk about this. Okay, so Fastlane is a tool, as I said, that helps you to automate deployments to Play Store and App Store. Now, Fastlane contains the so-called fast file. So I think it's here. Let me see. So if you enter, yeah, this is the so-called fast file. In this fast file, you see things like this lane on line 28. So lanes are automation task that you write. And they are quite concise because if you can see this one here, it says increment the build number in pubspec.yml. It looks very concise. You don't have to write a lot, but this essentially increases the build number so that you're able to submit to Play Store. And I have various lanes here, which I've explained in the README file. So yeah, I'll just walk through a few of them. I just talked about incrementing the build number. Let me talk about building the APK. Yeah, so with the fast lane, you can also run shell commands. So if you have a CI tool, maybe you're using what's it called? GitHub Actions, right? And you are running some workflows on a remote machine or like a virtual machine. You could also initiate shell commands right from the fast lane configuration. You could also upload the APK to the Slack channel. As I said earlier, the Slack API allows you to upload media files, PDFs, APKs, and so on. If you are using Firebase distribution, you can also use Fastlane to configure that. And if your app is iOS, you can also release iOS builds to App Store Connect and essentially get testers on test flights. So mainly this is the process. I wouldn't really go into the code base, but I would share it with you all and you can check it out. And you can try it. I mean, you can also visit their website. They have more functionalities to help you automate a lot of tasks that you would otherwise do manually. Yeah. So this brings an end to my presentation. And let me quit sharing the screen. Then share the other one. Okay. This. Yeah. So essentially, I just ran you through how you can automate uploads to Play Store and App Store. Thank you very much for your time and thank you for being with us. Thank you also to the organizers, Shadrach, Akweli, for their hard work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you too. Thank you to Papa Kofi. That was a very powerful session. I am looking through the comment section for questions for you. Okay. Some Wonder Tech Universe said Huawei App Gallery Store, Aurora Store, it's been at 25 USD for a long time now. Okay.
Okay. Is it someone said a Apple?
Oh, yeah, somebody said a Apple.
$99
Interesting. Yeah, so thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. We have learned a lot. Personally, I have learned a lot. I didn't even know about Fastlane, but thank you for sharing that too. So we are moving on to the next session. We are going to have Hannah Lomenyo, and Hannah is going to talk about navigating the tech world as a woman in tech. So I'm going to have Hannah up on stage from any time from now. And yeah, so thank you, Papa Kofi, for your session. So if you are still with us, I want you to keep updating your socials. If you have not yet done so, we are live GDG Accra on YouTube. We are live on LinkedIn as well. We are also on X and Instagram, so you can join the community. My colleagues have shared the link. Yeah, I have seen a question. So since Papa Kofi are still here, does Fastlane automatically upload the app? Papa Kofi, you are muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry for that. I hope I'm heard now.
Yes.
So yes, Fastlane exactly does that. It automatically uploads the app, but then you'd have to set it up. You'd have to write the lane that would do so. So you just have to write a few lines of code, and then it will do it for you. I mean, you initiate the process by running a shell command or a terminal command, and then the whole process is automated. Yeah. And also, actually, there's another question.
Okay, it's my question.
Yeah, there's another question about someone is saying that his engineering team mostly uses WhatsApp for communication, right? I don't know much about WhatsApp's API, but I believe they should have API that enable developers to send messages. So if you need to do so, you can read about WhatsApp's API and the features it offers. Yeah. Someone is saying, but how come apps are enrolled on App Store first? I don't really get that. Okay, so
Okay.
I think Wonder Tech Universe. Kindly clarify your question. I don't really get it. Okay, I think it's fine.
Okay, all right, sure. So thank you very much, Papa Kofi. So we are going for a quick break and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. A quick break.
Accra calling, can you hear the beat?
You know,
Devs and designers, it's time to meet. DevFest Accra, September
you know
in
that
the air. AI for good, a vision we all share. We the code, weavers building dreams in the heart of Accra where the future gleams. Bytes and pixels blending in the night. Together we shine oh so bright.
Okay, I was enjoying that song. All right, so Hannah is ready for us now. So I'm going to have Hannah up on the screen and in about a few minutes time. Hi, Hannah. You're live.
Sorry,
You're
hi.
muted.
Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm great. I'm great. So, what are you going to talk to us about today while you're projecting your screen?
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about my experience in tech as a woman and also how other people can learn from my experience and also, thrive in the tech industry as well. But I think even though I said this like for women, it can apply to everyone as well. So yeah.
Yay! Awesome. Thank you. So, go for it then.
Okay. Awesome. Um, yeah. So yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Lomenyo, and I'm a software engineer with about 4 years of experience in the tech industry. And within those 4 years, I have worked in both tech startups and then corporate tech, and I'm excited to share that experience with you today. So, first of all, what should you expect from this talk? I'm going to talk about my journey and then the difference between working in a startup and also corporate tech and how to thrive in the tech industry and also dealing with imposter syndrome and yeah, share my final words with you all. So first, my journey. Um, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. So my first exposure to tech was actually through ICT in junior high school, where you have a illustrated version of Windows interfaces on a blackboard, and then you just identify the various parts um, of the of the interface that you have. So that was my first exposure to tech, but it was only in senior high school that I got really introduced into what computer programming was or what software engineering was in general. So it was only in senior high school that I got to understand that those interfaces, the Windows interfaces and everything that you have there were actually written with a computer programming language, right? So after my high school experience, I started learning HTML, CSS, and then Python. And later on, I went to pursue an electrical and electronics engineering bachelor's degree at Ashesi University. So it was in Ashesi University that I started laying the foundational blocks for my career. And there I participated in a lot of extracurricular activities, especially tech communities like the Google Developer Student Club, which actually boosted my career in a lot of ways. And I also worked on side projects, and then I did a lot of internships out as well. So the internships I did was in automation Ghana and then EcoBank e-process. At this point in my career, I had already learned a lot of things, and I had already a lot of things had already become clearer to me on what like the next steps of my career should be. So these are some of the things that I learned at this stage. But number one would be tech communities are a great booster, and I always say this no matter which platform I'm given. Like if you want to succeed in your tech career, tech communities are a great booster because every opportunity, almost every job offer that I have received in this industry has been through a referral or a recommendation from someone I met with in like a tech conference or like in a tech community. So tech communities are great and will give you what you need. Like if you need a referral or recommendation, tech communities will help you achieve that. And the next thing is your so at this stage in my career, I also learned that being consistent with my work is also great because then because I consistently put out quality and great work, a lot of people, it helped me build my reputation. And a lot of people were able to confidently recommend me for more opportunities as well. So yeah, always make sure you do your best work and you put your best work out there. And don't be afraid to share the things that interest you in those tech communities. Give presentations, network with a lot of people, and that will help you grow in your career. And the internships that I did also helped me build great work ethics as well, because like everything I had done in school up to that point was just like theory and like concepts. But having that opportunity to apply those concepts into commercial products and services was a great experience. And that actually propelled me to the next step of my career, which is getting an actual remote job outside of Ghana. So I think I got this internship when I was in my third year, and I got this also through a referral from a member of the GDSC, which is the Google Developer Student Club. And like I said, this only came about because I was always putting my best work out there, and I was consistent with whatever that I was doing. So yeah, make great use of the opportunities that you've been given. And if you are here today, kudos to you, because you're already taking a good step in the right direction. Right. So after the internships that I did, and after graduation, I had to do a 1-year mandatory national service, and I did that as a faculty intern at Ashesi University. And yeah, after that, I was retained as a full-time software engineer at Analog, which is the startup that I worked with, the first startup that I worked with as an intern. And there, I was also recommended to another startup to work as a developer because that startup was in need of a new developer. And that was, I think that is the point in my career where I learned, I was able to grow a lot technically, because it had a lot of experienced developers, and they had a lot of, just technical abilities under their belt. So I was able to learn a lot. And there's this guy called Naval Ravikant who always says this: be in the middle of the waterfall, which basically means that if you want to be the best student, you have to go to the best school, like with by all standards, right? And if you want to be the best software engineer, you have to be amongst the best software engineers, right? And this also works in many different contexts. Like if you want to be the best, you have to be in the middle of the waterfall. So if you want to build like a startup that will succeed, you probably have to be in Silicon Valley or something like that. So yeah, always be in the middle of the waterfall, strive for the best for yourself. And so after my startup experience, I moved on to work at Bank of America. I worked there for 2 years, and then I'm currently working in big tech. Right. But the thing here is that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about all the experiences, all the lessons that you accumulate through the process that will build you up to who you are today, or whichever state that you'll be in the future, right? So don't give up in the middle, just keep going. And yeah, so through my journey, I was able to identify the difference between like working in a startup and then working in corporate tech. So for corporate tech, there's a lot more stability because it's a well-established corporation. So it has more defined structures, more defined culture. It has more defined like payment flow. So your financial stability is grounded, and you also have a lot more clarity in terms of your career growth. So because it's a well-established corporation, you know that if I do ABC, I will get to this level and that level and that level. So all the levels for your career growth are well-defined. So you don't need to overthink things. And imagine having Google on your CV, right? It carries a lot of prestige for you. So you already, like, when you have big corporation on your CV, it opens a lot of doors for you. So that's one of the things that comes along when you work in corporate tech. And you get the opportunity to network it with a lot of people, because most of these corporate tech companies, they have more than 1,000 employees and across the globe. So you get to network with all of these people, and you get to learn about their backgrounds, learn from their expertise as well. But with all these things come with like its own cons as well. And one of it is the bureaucracy. Because it's well established, it has a lot of processes that you need to go through to do even the smallest things, right? And sometimes most of these things limit your creativity, right? So that's about it with the corporate tech. In startups, you have very high impact because you are literally at the initial phase of the startup. So you're part of the founding momentum of the startup, right? So everything that you do literally translates into the impact that the startup will create in society. And that comes with a lot of learning opportunities as well, because if you're building something, a product or a service, you are literally building that from scratch, right? So you get to learn a lot of things. And if later on in the future you are assigned to you are assigned a project to accomplish or complete from scratch, you can do that because you've done that in a startup. But the thing with startups is it comes with a lot of uncertainty and ambiguity, because you don't really know if this startup is going to succeed or fail. So you're literally in a high risk environment. But with high risk also comes high gains. But that will only happen if the startup succeeds. So that's about it with startups. And you're also working with limited resources, because startups always want to start lean. So if you are trying to start lean, you want to limit how you use your resources so that you don't waste a lot of your resources and be able to make much more revenue in the process. So yeah, that's about it with the differences. So thriving in tech, I'm going to start talking about this with regards to women, but like I said, it applies to other people as well. Women face a lot of obstacles in the professional world, including blatant and subtle sexism, discrimination, and sexual harassment. And I have experienced those things before, and I'm sure like a lot of people have experienced this in various forms. It's very interesting to know and see these things happening in like the 21st century, but this is the system that we have now, and we have to overcome them as women and as people in tech, right? But at this point, I don't have the power to change the system. Maybe using this platform, talking about it, is also like one way we can use to update the system, enhance the system, make it better for the people coming ahead of us. So what I want to focus on in this talk is talking about the internal factors, which is the fact that women are also hindered by barriers that exist within ourselves. So everything that we overthink, every feeling that we just create within ourselves to limit ourselves from achieving like the next levels or the next versions of ourselves, that's what I'm going to focus on. And this is actually a quote by Sheryl Sandberg, who is one of the big women in tech as well. And she wrote Leaning, which is a great book. You should give it a read, definitely. Yeah. So one of the ways that you can thrive in tech, one of the most important ways, is to be a master of your craft. I mean, what is a swordsman if the swordsman doesn't know how to use a sword, right? So to be a master of your craft, you have to pick up new tasks as what at work. Most of the time when you are working, when you are in a company, you keep on taking maybe a lot of backend tasks. You're working on creating services, microservices, whatever, API endpoints. And then they start to notice that, okay, if we have a task similar to that, we just assign it to Hannah. But maybe that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to explore new opportunities, right? So push yourself to explore things outside of your comfort zone by picking up new tasks. That's when you get to learn more. That's when you will not get bored, you'll not get, burnt out or depressed later on in life, because you keep on doing the same things, and it almost becomes like a routine, which you wouldn't want. You want your life to be exciting and fun, right? And the next thing is to get certifications and pursue higher education. Like, when I finished school, I didn't think that certifications were really important, but getting into the industry itself, I realized like a lot of people boast about their AWS certifications and all. So it would be great to get those certifications, and if you get the chance to pursue higher education too, that would be great. And keep building cool things. If you want to be a better software engineer, if you want to write better code, the only way you can get better at writing code is to write more code. So yeah, write more code, keep building cool things. And tech conferences, tech communities, I mean, what can I say? It's right here. We are participating in this right now. So attend tech conferences. That's when you get to learn a lot about the tech industry, the new things that are coming up, the new technologies, just to stay on top of every issue in the tech industry, and also speak at tech conferences. I know Sadiq probably spoke about this when he was giving the keynotes, that you just share your story. You might think that it will not be relevant to other people, but you never know who is actually at the edge of your situation, or like at the edge of something that you had overcome before and would really benefit from your story. So master the courage and speak at tech conferences, right? And that will help you get better, because the more you give, the more you receive. That doesn't make sense, but then yeah, it makes sense practically, right? When you give more, you learn more and you become better, right? Yeah, mastering your craft, getting better at coding, or just coding is not enough. It's never enough, because we are human beings and we work with other human beings as well. So right, you have to know how to relate with other human beings. You have to develop your personal skills. You have to develop your soft skills as well. So master communication, which is my second point. In the corporate world, and also in the startup system as well, you talk to people through emails, by writing design documents, dev specification, or like through Teams chat or Slack or whatever medium that you use, right? You also give verbal updates to your teammates, to your managers, to clients as well. So communication is really, really important in every single thing that we do. And it's not even confined to just the work life. It's also really important outside of work as well, and our relationships and all of that. So you have to really master it. And you can only master communication by doing more of it, right? So your language, when you are talking, whether in written or verbal form, you have to make sure that it accurately reflects the intent, the meaning, the severity, the level of certainty, and the stakes at hand of whatever that you want to communicate. And the key point here is clarity. Like, you have to be clear. Anytime that you say something, you have to make sure that the other party understood what you wanted to say clearly, right? And when you speak accurately, your audience can trust whatever that you are saying. So if you want to build more trust with your audience, especially like your teammates, your managers, and your clients, then you have to speak more accurately. You have to speak more clearly, right? So that's it. And so Socrates said this. He said, "Man, know thyself." Right. So you have to know yourself to be able to know what you're about, know what you represent, and know what you want to do. Right. And one way to do that is to build your brand. So if one thing about life is that if you don't direct the narrative of how people perceive you, then people will begin to control it for you. So people will control what the world should think about you. Yeah. So to do that, you have to build your brand. So on social media, in your workplace as well, like you have to let people consistently know what you're about. So if you want to be associated with backend stuff, like always talk about backend stuff, or like if anyone needs help in like backend stuff, like put up your hand and help out with the backend stuff, right? And then build your credibility as well. Building your credibility is more about consistently producing quality work with integrity. So making sure that every work that you assign, even the tiniest tasks that you assign, you do it in a way that reflects your excellence, right? Make sure that everything that you do is good. I mean, it's in the Bible that whatever that your hand findeth to do, do it as unto God, right? So do it well, and let it be great, and advocate for yourself as well, because in the African context, most of the times you are always expected to like just keep quiet, go with the flow, not say what you really want. I mean, most of the work environment in the African context is mostly about just keeping quiet, doing what you've been assigned, and then just moving on. But that doesn't work across board, right? So you have to advocate for yourself all the time. You have to verbalize every single thing that you do. And that includes like asking for what you want, meaning what you say, and doing what you say as well, right? Which goes back to build on your credibility. Fear. Now, this is a really important subject. Fear. It's something that stops a lot of people from achieving or being great. Um, there's this quote which I really love, which is which says, "A ship in a harbor is safe, but it is not what ships are built for." And I'm sure a lot of you have watched like Pirates of the Caribbean and all those movies, and maybe One Piece, the anime, and you've seen a lot of pirates like sailing across the dangerous seas to find treasures which have been hidden for ages, right? And they wouldn't have been able to find those treasures if they had just stayed in the safety of the shores. They put themselves out on the dangerous seas. They just threw themselves out there to, find the riches, the treasures of the world, right? So if you want to become better, if you want to be great, if you want to be the best version that God created you to be, then you have to put yourself out there and then achieve it. Like get out of your comfort zone. And women and human beings in general, we face a lot of fears, which includes the fear of not being liked, the fear of making wrong choices, the fear of drawing attention, the fear of being judged. So many fears which can be just converged into one main fear, which is the fear of failure, right? And if we are not so fearful of the fear of failing, if we are not so fearful of failing, then we will be able to achieve so many things. We will be able to become the best versions of ourselves and do the things that actually matter, right? And this is I read this in the Substack a Substack blog some time ago, and this guy wrote about how he processes like his fears, right? And he uses three main points, which is labeling, reminding, and breaking down the problem. And for labeling, what he does is he labels the feeling and acknowledges that it is transient, which means that like it's there for a short time, right? And reminds himself of the past successes that he overcame, where he overcame something similar, and he breaks down the problem into achievable milestones that boost his confidence. And I think this is something that I apply. I've been applying recently, and then you can apply as well. So let's see an example. So if you have a fear of sharing your design document broadly, or you created a PR and you're afraid like, oh my God, if I share this PR, I'm going to get so many comments, maybe 60 comments, 100 comments or whatever. And they might think I'm such an incompetent developer. No, you have to label your feeling. Take a moment, take a breather, just label your feeling. Know, like, understand what you're feeling right now. Am I worrying that people will spot obvious gaps in my document or my PR or whatever? And I need to find all of them before they do. You have to stop all of that and then remind yourself that you have felt this way before. It didn't go so badly previously. So obviously you can overcome this, and break it down into like a tiny issue that instead of broadcasting it, maybe I can get feedback from someone that I trust. Maybe I can get feedback from my mentor. So you share the PR or you share the document with your mentor or your trusted friend to get all those severe gaps sorted out before you share it broadly, and that will help boost your confidence. So hopefully this is helpful to everyone out here. It has been helpful to me. So yeah, I hope this helps. The fifth point is like mentorship and feedback. So I don't know if all of you have watched Avatar, right? In Avatar, there's Avatar Aang, who is trying to master the 4 elements. He already has the elements of it mastered. So to do that, he spends a lot of time with people who are already experts in those elements. So to master fire, he spent a lot of time in the Fire Nation. To master water, he spent a lot of time in the Water Nation. And I feel like this is how mentorship and feedback works in general. So if you want to be like the best software engineer, if you want to be the best developer, you have to spend a lot of time with people who are already experts, which goes back to my point that I mentioned, like be in the middle in the middle of the waterfall. So yeah, you have to be with the Fire Nations, where in this case the Fire Nations are the software engineers, and they will help you get better. And one thing that you will notice in the Avatar is that the mentors that invested a lot of time in training him, they gave him feedback. And every single time that he got that feedback, he spent nights, like mornings, early mornings, like practicing, improving upon himself based on the feedback that he had received. So we should also incorporate that in our mentorship mentee relationship. So when we get feedback from our mentors, we should try and incorporate that in whatever that we are doing to get better, because that is the whole purpose of the relationship in the first place. So a lot of the time you get a lot of people coming, oh, can you mentor me? Oh, I would like to be your mentor, but you give feedback, they don't incorporate that. So it's just like a stagnant, stationary relationship, right? So the person doesn't go in any way, and the mentor also ends up wasting his or her time, which isn't really beneficial for every person. Yeah, so that's about it. And one thing about feedback as well is that feedback helps you fail fast and grow very quickly. So if you want to grow in your career, you have to get a lot of feedback. So anytime you work on something, or anytime you have one-on-ones with your manager, you have to ask, okay, how do you think of or what do you think of the work that I did recently? What could I have done to make it better? Yeah, all those questions. Make sure you ask for feedback in whatever that you do. That will help you identify your weaknesses. That will help you identify the things that you need to do to improve and become better, right? Yeah, and be easy to work with, right? Um, being easy, being easy to work with, I feel like this is the best career hack, because if you're easy to work with, then a lot of companies will want to hire you, and a lot of managers will like you and promote you quickly. And being easy to work with includes helping others, making them better, taking ownership and responsibility, and being a team player. I read this thing somewhere. It says that if you get better coding for 20%, you will provide 20% more value. But if you help 5 other people to get 20% better, you will provide 100% more value. And this is really cool, because like if you provide 100% more value, then these are the numbers that managers and senior leaders are obviously looking for. So it will help you get higher up there. Right. So dealing with imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is basically feeling like, sorry, I have to rush because like my time is almost up. So sorry about that. But imposter syndrome is basically about feeling incompetent, feeling like you're not good enough. And it's basically feeling like that chicken amongst the soldiers. And I felt like that when I first went to the gym. I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, what way should I do? What routine should I follow? And you basically feel like you don't belong. But as time went on and I consistently went to the gym, I got better, and I felt like I belonged much more, right? So overcoming imposter syndrome in the work context, you have to develop confidence in your competency, which involves spending much more time accomplishing hard things. So the more you accomplish like greater challenging things, the more you become confident in your competency. And you have to celebrate your wins. Like a lot of people think that bragging about the things that you have done is like being proud or arrogant or anything like that. But in the work context, it's really important to have a brag document. So anytime you accomplish something or you get like good feedback from an opposing teammate, make sure you put all of that in your document, because that will really play in your favor when you are asking for a promotion or you are just trying to get a higher up in your career. And untangle your identity from your job, guys. Your job is not who you are. Like untangle your identity from your job so that you can be able to take any feedback more uh, in a constructive way, right? In a constructive context, and not in like you defend yourself every single time. Because anytime you get any feedback, you feel like, oh, it's about who you are, but it's not really about who you are. It's just about your job and not just yourself. And understand that you are a work in progress. So if like anything that you are now, whatever skills that you have now, whatever level that you are in now, is just like a transient state, which will get better if you invest in yourself, if you invest more time in growing, right? So we have these 3 ladies and many more ladies in this current age. We have Ada Lovelace, Grace Hopper, and Margaret Hamilton. These ladies contributed greatly to the tech industry that we have now. And I feel like I believe later on in the future, I hope and believe that someday we all can be up here with these ladies in the Tech Hall of Fame. So thank you all for listening to my talk. You can connect with me on my website. I have YouTube channels, you can subscribe to them. And I'm trying to build in public recently, so I post on my Twitter as well. Yeah, thank you all. This was fun.
It was. I totally enjoyed the session. I like the quote you made about the ship. You said a ship in a harbor is safe, but that is not what a ship is built for. I found that really, really profound. I found that really profound about how our fears. Wow. Great conversation. Let me just go quickly to the chat to see if there's a question for you. Bernard is asking if you would be his mentor. So I'm guessing, Bernard, you can reach out to her on her socials. But would you want to answer that?
Yeah, I mean, he can reach out to me. I think you can schedule a call with me on my website as well. So, yeah, you can scan the QR code. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm seeing great presentation, enjoying presentation. Very, very fun. One of the best presentations for me. Can't wait to meet you all on Saturday. All right. Thank you very much, Hannah. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
It was great. It was great being here. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So we are moving on to our last 2 talks. We are going to have Martha Clenham Chagli talk about exerting resilience in your journey. So I'm going to have Martha on in the next few minutes. And yes.
Hello, everyone.
Martha.
Hi. There's some kind of
It's good to see
sound
you
on the background.
again.
Apologies. Sorry.
Oh, we can perfectly hear you very well.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Let me start presenting my screen.
Okay. How are you feeling about this presentation, Martha?
Oh, I'm very fine.
Okay. What are you going to talk to us about?
Okay. I'll be talking about exerting resilience in your tech journey. Can you see my presentation, my PowerPoint presentation?
Yes. It's
okay.
Yes, it's up now.
Okay. Okay, hello everyone. Hi.
All right, go for it.
Hi everyone. My name is Clenam, and I'm an AI expert reviewer at DataKind. So what I basically do is I review AI proposals, proposals that increase representation in AI. I've been doing this for quite some months now, and it's been interesting. So on this talk, I'll be talking about exerting resilience in your tech journey. Let me just start. Okay, so what is resilience? Resilience is the ability to rise up from a struggle and keep fighting or going on. For the purpose of this presentation, we'll use a birch tree as a case study to our presentation today. Just a second. Okay, so a birch tree is like we can see, is a very, very strong, deep-rooted tree, and usually the snows, ice storm falls on them. And what happens over here is once the ice storm falls on the birch trees, they burn. They burn just as though they are about breaking, but they do not break. So we use this birch tree as a case study for this particular talk. So another thing that can make a birch tree bend is when a boy swings them. So maybe we can all relate. In our childhood, we used to swing branches of trees. Sometimes the branches break off, and other times they are still strong, right? With a birch tree, they do not break. They are like very strong. So either whatever it is, if a snow, an ice storm hits on them, they just burn. If a boy swings them, they just burn. And then slowly you see that they rise up again. Qualities of a birch tree. Birch trees are strong, they are durable, they are resilient. Why am I using a birch tree as a case study here? Our theme for this year's DevFest is responsible AI. And in as much as we would want everyone to embrace this theme, we want you all to be resilient too. So be strong in this journey. Especially when you are coming from Africa, it is the hardest thing to thrive in a more like a space where there's a lot of development each time. So today you hear of this software, tomorrow you hear of an upgrade, the next day, and you are thrown between a dilemma, you are thrown between two paths. Be like the birch tree in your projects, be like the birch tree in your workplace as an engineer, as a software developer, as a UX designer. Be like the birch tree. Be resilient. If the snow or the ice storm hits on you, rise up again. The birch tree never breaks. It never breaks in any way. Like, it bounces back to normal from whatever has been hit by it. And mind you, the only thing that makes this tree is the fact that it is living. But you, as a software engineer, you have opportunities, you have skills, you have talents, you have everything in your disposal to get to your dreams and make your realities possible. So you have a higher advantage than this birch tree. So anytime you are feeling like, oh, this project is too tough for me, I am not able, I don't think I can. I felt like that before. I've worked on projects, and sometimes it can be very daunting to even know that, like, maybe your team members are not supporting you, or you are the lead and you have to do everything on your own. It's very daunting, but leave this particular talk session with the mindset that you want to be like a birch tree in your engineering class. You want to be like a birch tree in your workplace. You want to be like the birch tree that bounces back to normal anytime something difficult hits it. And I want to leave us with a quote. There's so much more to do. Like, you have, there's so much to do. You have not gotten there yet, right? Everyone on this YouTube live, everyone listening to me, if you're a developer, if you are a UX designer, you have not gotten there yet. Don't pride yourself in the little that you know. Be agile, like systems. Be ready to embrace differences, like something that will move you out of your comfort zone to get that project done, to get that tech community moving forward, no matter what it takes, right? So be agile. There's a lot you have to do. There are so many panels waiting for you to pitch your presentation for funding. You have to live out of your comfort zone to get that done, right? Be resilient. Don't relent. Be like the birch tree. Like, let me move to this particular side of the presentation again. You see, when the snow hits on it, you see how it's bent. Everyone might think that you are losing or you are breaking. But with the mindset of the birch tree, you know that you will bounce back once it's summertime and the sun hits on you and the ice storms go off, you will bounce back. So sometimes you are working on your project and you are feeling like you can't do it anymore. Go for a walk. Bounce back like the birch tree. Get on your computer. Get that task done. Get it done, because it is the foundation to you saying that you have fought hard. It is that groundbreaking story that is going to transform your tech career. So again, there's so much to do. Remember that your resilience matters. I'm giving you that quote. Remember in everything that you do, that your resilience matters. Even going for a tech community is a way of staying resilient. So DevFest is coming on in-person event on Saturday. Staying home is not going to solve any problem. Coming for DevFest on Saturday, it's like one step ahead of being resilient. You know, you find yourself amongst a community that is your vision driven. Like, it's not just selfish, it's also thinking about you. That is why it brought like that gathering, okay, that gathering to help you stay agile in your tech journey. So I'll be ending my presentation. I just want to leave all of us with this quote, that whatever you are doing in your tech journey, whatever you are doing, if it is building systems, if it is working on mobile applications, be like the birch tree, be resilient, don't break, don't get to a point where you have given up completely and there's nothing we can say about you in 7 years to come. Be agile like systems. Stay agile, like develop yourself. Let it be like a burning fire in you to get to know what you are missing out, like even in feeling like you know that much, there should be something that is making you feel like you are still missing out. And with that form of direction, that form of guidance, you marvel at the discoveries that you'd find out. You know, so if you are building machine learning models, stay agile, like be like the bird tree and bounce back. Be durable, be reliable, be someone that people can call onto you and say that I know him. He did this. He built the system for us. He volunteered to work on this for us. Like, be like the bird tree. And I don't know if you have any questions for me, but I'll end my presentation now. Always be agile, be resilient like the bird tree. And one way of doing that is attending DevFest this Saturday. We want to see you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, Martha. In fact, I warned you that you should get ready to be inspired, and Martha has completely delivered. Thank you very much for that inspiring
Thank
session.
you.
I'm reading through the comments. I believe the community really needed this message. There's little to no support and motivation in the tech sector in this part of our world. You woke me up. Wow. Thank you, Martha. You have woken Raphael up.
Thank you.
So we want to see your socials. So kindly put your socials up for us if you have them. If you don't,
okay,
or you
I don't have them on my PowerPoint
presentation.
Yeah, but those that want to see my socials, come for DevFest. When you come, you have access to my
Yay! I love that. Come for DevFest this Saturday.
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay.
Come for DevFest. You see Martha, and yeah, you can get her socials and all you need from him. So Wonder Tech Universe is saying, I like how the speaker has taken her time to talk and explain. That was a very awesome presentation, Martha. Thank you. And so our last talk for tonight, Idi Dashina Baba Idrisun is going to talk to us on the state of DevOps in Ghana, beyond hype and towards practicality. So I'm going to have Idi up in a few minutes. He's going to be up on your screens. Yeah. Hi, Idi. Good to see you. How are you doing? You're muted.
Hi, good to see you. Sorry about the
It's okay. I hope you are good today.
Yeah, I'm well.
So can you quickly share with us what you're about to talk about?
Okay, so I'm going to take you through the state of DevOps as I've seen it currently. Take you through some of the issues I've noticed as I consult and as I've gone through the industry.
Awesome. I can't wait for this presentation. Go for it.
All right, let me get my presentation up.
Okay, so while Edie is getting his presentation up, someone just put behavior-like systems. Nice line. And then I'm seeing some comments by the open shelf. Great presentation. High anticipation on Saturday. Oja, Oja. If you don't come for DevFest this Saturday, I don't know. You are really going to miss out. There are so many fun things to do. We are going to have some gaming sessions. Oh, this was supposed to be a secret. But yeah, so you should be there. You should be there. You don't have any reason to not be there. You should be at DevFest. Edie, are you ready for us now?
1 second. Yep, I'm now ready. Let me bring it up.
Okay.
Okay. So Idi Idrisu Deshna Baba. If you want to remember all of that, Baba Idi Idrisu Deshna. Today I'm going to be taking you through the current state of DevOps and help you navigate through where DevOps is right now in a talk titled The State of DevOps, from hype toward practicality. So let's start by defining what DevOps is and giving us some background context and some history lesson here. So DevOps means a lot of things to many people, but I'm going to simplify it to mean development operations, right? Because software development operations, to be exact, when you have any activity, there's going to be supporting activities around it that are supported, and they are not necessarily the main interest or the main focus, right? So think about going to school. All you need to do to go to school is to attend the class and listen. But however, you have your parents provide you with extra activities, and they handle things like your stationery, your feeding, on your school fees. That's not the end of the story, though. They also, replace it and maintain it. When the term resumes, they pay school fees again. So these tasks your parents have to go through are all operational tasks, and it's no different for software development, right? It's just the supporting tasks we do to make sure software development and software engineering actually happens, right? So that's the simple definition of DevOps I'm going to leave you with. All right. How did we get here, and what is the current state of DevOps? So we start by looking at infrastructure teams. DevOps today is just an extension of infrastructure teams, right? So back in the day, you would have a team of hardware engineers, you would have a team of networking engineers, system administrators, and they would all come together to form this infrastructure team, right? And this was the day of mainframe servers. So at this time, vendor lock-in was very high. You would have someone specialize in one specific mainframe server, and this mainframe server is going to come preloaded with its dev kit and database and operating system. So you're really logged into the vendor's choice, right? Then we had the huge wave that came to change most of that when we had the standardization drives. At this time, we had operating systems become more liberal and compilers also became more liberal. Open source was born around this time. So the skills you learned from one system was easily transferred to another system, and that allowed the space to really boom. So around this time, you would have organizations do a lot more experimentation because they could easily transfer and mix the parts they're playing with, right? So that was that brought us to the next wave, where we have the Web 2.0. Before this, the internet wasn't seen as a nice place for your product to be at, because we would mostly be developing database applications, right? So most of these web apps we have now in Web 2.0 is just a web extension of a database application. So you would have a database application you don't want to expose to the internet. So that posed a risk and a challenge to operations teams. And we had to come up with new solutions and new techniques of handling that. That led to the rise of the need of cybersecurity aspects. And that's where, around this time, that's where things like SSL started creeping up. And you have stronger password encryptions, right? So we no longer use MD5 encryptions around this time. We needed stronger encryptions. Then we come to the modern era where we are now, and that's the cloud era. So at this phase, it is essentially reducing the barrier of entry into tech, right? Because we realized that it's going to be cheaper if you no longer have to manage all the physical infrastructure. When Web 2 started, you still had to buy a server, you still had to go to a data center, host it, get an ISP to provide you with internet. You still had to do a lot of physical maintenance and management of that. So what cloud allowed us to do was abstract all that physical layer away and just deal with our main issue, main challenges, and just deal with the user space. All right. So the current state of DevOps, where are we now when we say DevOps? So DevOps can be summed up as a lot of automations currently, because I like to sum it up in one quote. I am DevOps because I write IAC. The tools we come to use and know and love have come to define what DevOps is, but the actual practices and what we need to be focusing on seems to be in the background, right? So you would rather find people reach out for a tool rather than reach out for a design of their DevOps approach. So let's go into the current state of DevOps. I'll discuss the problems I've noticed and the way forward. Okay, so what are some of the problems in the DevOps space right now? So operations is a very dynamic field right now. Almost every week there's a new tool coming out that's promising to make your life simpler, right? So there's so many tools in the field, and everyone wants to say they're using the latest tool or they are making their work way more efficient, right? No one wants to be left behind. So you find environments with a lot of tools that just don't homogenize well together, and it's just a nightmare to manage the environment. Yes, you're using all the nice tools, but you are actually being slower because all the tools now become a headache for you to manage. Then you have tutorial jumps, where people now build their infrastructure or their architecture around the tutorial you're viewing. Instead of actually coming out with a design and going to look out for specific tutorials to match that design, right? You find that people's first instinct are to just Google how to deploy, for example, how to deploy Node.js on AWS or Google Cloud platforms or DigitalOcean. You know, so it's a bit of a mess because each time you Google, you get a bit of someone else's idea. You implement that in your environment. You get another bit of someone else's idea. You implement that in your environment. There's no coherent concept behind your environment, so you've lost all harmony in your environment. It's just bits of concepts. And that leads us to the next problem, which is the misuse of best practice, right? A lot of times, best practice is just a way to tell people that, okay, you read something from a blog post and you think it's really good, so you want to follow it. So you're calling it best practice, right? It isn't actually best practice without a context. You can't say best practice without proper context. It always has to come with context, and the context should be your environment. That should be the source of truth, okay? Then the next problem in DevOps right now is we have a security oversight when it comes to our automations. Security is more of an afterthought when it comes to automations, especially when we have our CI/CD pipelines behind two-factor authentication and all sorts of fancy firewalls, VPN, and security features. You think, okay, you're safe in there. But once anyone is able to get past that and they get into your pipelines, it's a whole treasure trove of things to exploit, because they have access to all your secrets, all your keys. Most often we leak so much information in our automation scripts, right? And it's become a huge problem, because anytime I go into someone's automation pipeline to consult, I end up getting to see so much information. I don't need all that information, right? Then there's a clear lack of metric where we are not actually measuring what we want to see from our environment. We are just building environments. If it works, it works. And we are hoping for the best, right? So you would have someone just provision their cluster, expected to handle X number of users, let's say 1,000 users, and they expect to just keep that cluster running till they have more than 1,000 users, because that's the only target they've set. There's no continuous measuring. That's not really a clear metric. You haven't really given yourself something to work with. All right. So what's the way forward from these issues? The way forward for me, the most important is to adopt a less is more approach. It's not really about adopting technologies to solve your problems. You have problems. Like, the business is always going to find problems for you. You have problems. The technology is there. You need to find your solution, your own approach, and go and find this technology that solves that. Don't introduce new ones when you don't have to, right? So look for unified approaches where you have one tool that can handle multiple areas, right? Just do more with less. For example, you find environments where people have Kubernetes and they're using GitHub, and they also have Argo CD in there. But your automation pipeline doesn't require Argo CD. It's just because the tool promises to make automations and GitOps simpler for you. But once you have GitHub connected to your Kubernetes environment, you can still manage some of these functions and operations. Okay, so understanding over implementation. It's very good to understand what you're doing rather than how to implement it, right? Because prioritizing understanding over implementation means that you can always find the implementation at the moment you need it, but you always need to know when to recognize that you need this implementation. And that's what understanding gives you. You need to identify when this particular knowledge is needed and when to go look for it. So prioritize understanding the concepts over just the implementations. Contextualize your best practice, the use of best practice. Each time you want to apply something called best practice in your environment, think about what your environment is at the current moment and the business needs you're fighting against, right? Because you can't actually implement best practice that gives your user experience, that lowers your user experience, right? that's actually going to cause business. So it's not really best practice. You are actually hurting your environment, right? Then shift left on security, right? When we are doing automations, we have to understand that it's still an environment someone can break into. You have to limit the surface of attack, right? There are so many great features to hide your secrets when it comes to your pipelines and your automations. So utilize them, right? Utilize these features to hide your secrets. Don't make security an afterthought when you are eventually hacked or you are eventually done, then you go back and try and implement security. No, make it part of the way you process and you think about implementing your DevOps. All right. Then finally, measure and iterate, because now that we are in the era of cloud, you can always change the size of your instance. You're no longer locked into the same hardware, right? It's no longer you going to buy a fixed resource capacity, right? It's now you with the ability to change it at each step of the way. So measure and know when to change it, especially during peak hours. Okay, it's not just okay to say, okay, it works at this time, so it's going to work forever. No, you can have peak hours. So you want to actually scale when peak hours or demand goes high. And on demand is something that the cloud has given us. So once you're not measuring out on what the cloud really gives you, all right? So yeah, the final takeaway I want everyone to go home with is that modern DevOps is a progression of infrastructure teams from back in the day. All the concepts we know now and we love now in DevOps, especially after the term was coined, like automation, collaboration, and all that, used to be there when we had infrastructure teams. All right, it's just the problems that changed and evolved. So we evolved and changed with them. The computing got better, so we changed with it. So DevOps is just the same thing. We are supporting developers or we are supporting the process of developing software, right? You are supporting the engineers, you're supporting the business, you're supporting the customers, because you're the one in charge of making sure this engine, this development is running, is operational. That's what DevOps is really about, all right? So thank you. My socials, I only do GitHub and LinkedIn.
Okay, that was a very detailed exploration of DevOps. Thank you very much for sharing some of the challenges and some of the ways we could rectify the challenges in the DevOps. Yes, so I have had a great time today. If you have any questions, Edie is still with us. You can put it in the comment section and Edie will take them. All I see is claps. Thank you very much, Edie. It means we have completely enjoyed your session. And yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so today's sessions have been full of quotes, so I'm going to end with this quote. The best way to predict the future is to create it. And this is a quote by Alan Kay. And we have had a thought-provoking exploration of responsible AI. Our speakers have emphasized the importance of ethical considerations in our development and the best practices in deploying AI techniques and technologies. And I have listed some 3 takeaways. The journey matters more than the destination. That was the first takeaway. I think I got this from Hannah's session. Yes, so focus on the process of building and learning rather than just the final outcome. And she mentioned something that I hope you'll remember: label your fear and put reminders of, okay, so I am afraid of this, so this is what I have to do. Yeah. So it was very practical. If you missed out on that particular session, you can just scroll back to it. And the second key takeaway is to keep attending tech conferences. Yes. DevFest is happening. The main DevFest is happening this Saturday, 14th September 2024 at the Accra Technical University. The ladies' session starts at 8 a.m. and the main session begins at exactly 10 a.m. So you don't want to miss any of the sessions. What you just experienced so far is just a tip of the iceberg. We haven't even disclosed everything yet. Saturday is going to be so exciting. The last key takeaway I want to mention is embrace agility and resilience. Be like the birch tree. And yes, we have come to the end of DevFest Accra for this year. I want you to keep sharing what your learnings on your socials and use the hashtag DevFest Accra, hashtag GDG Accra. And I want to also take the opportunity to acknowledge our sponsors once again. They have been incredible. You are the reason that we are able to even have this session. I want to acknowledge Accra Technical University, Google for Developers, InfoBabe, ICP Ghana, Gamers Hive, Kauri, Amalitech, Ejima, Kofa, Mest Africa. You are the ones who have sponsored and made this DevFest what it is right now. And we can't wait for Saturday, the perfect opportunity to connect and learn and for you to see the impact of your sponsorship. We also have partners like Sprinix and Cat Loft, Nita Ghana, Flatter Ghana, Cred Digest, Deduce Photography, and Icon Photography. And yes, I also want to give a shout out to Dial Pixels, whose studio I am in right now. So thank you very much for making sure that we have had a wonderful, wonderful session today. And I would see you. Oh, before I leave, remember that debate Sodiq started about Nigerian jollof and Ghana jollof. If you haven't been to a DevFest yet, then you don't know about the DevFest jollof. Yeah, it's the best jollof ever. You can ask anyone ever. Just quote me anywhere. DevFest jollof is the best. So this concludes the end of the virtual session. That is DevFest Accra Day 1 for this year. I hope you've all had an incredible time learning, connecting, and sharing what you have been building so far. Remember that the future of technology is in your hands. Today we have spoken about responsible AI, and yes, like I keep saying, Saturday is going to be fire. Saturday is going to be fire. So you should all make sure that you are here with us and see you. My name has been Akwele Abena Okai, and I have been your moderator for the virtual DevFest Accra. Catch you next time.
Aim high for good, a vision we all share.